Hey everybody, it's Mary Z here again for Voice Hacks by Mary Z. So I'm here again. I realized last time when I did a lesson for you guys that my lavalier mic, the one that clips to your shirt, over modulates. It peaks pretty heavily when I do stuff because I tend to be a rather loud singer. So I've moved on to the good old SM7 and my Pro Tools set up right here so you guys can have more high quality audio with these videos. So the first thing we're going to talk about today, this exercise is designed for vocal compression. So what does that mean? Why is that important? And what are you going to use it for? So this exercise is for people who come to me. I get a lot of people who say, I used to be able to blank, and then now I can no longer do that. Like something happened to me, I got sick, I had a vocal injury, etc., etc., etc. So when that happens, we have to learn to reconnect the voice with the air. So our airflow is extremely important, right? When we bring the vocal cords together when we sing, we have to learn to do it with air rather than by trying to consciously get our vocal cords to do something. So vocal compression is basically the healthy amount of pressure that exists when the vocal cords come together as we sing. It shouldn't be too much. It shouldn't be slamming, but the chords need to come together fully and make good connection. And if you don't understand where the voice is or some of these concepts, please go back, watch my intro series videos on the larynx, neutral larynx. My intro series playlist will be fabulous. It'll help you understand a lot of the things I'm talking about in this video. But if you want to skip ahead, just take my word for it. The vocal cords sit above your windpipe, and when you sing, they come together and they vibrate. So when we have things wrong with them, like calluses or polyps or something, they're not going to come together all the way, and then we're going to find that we have a bit of a problem. So we're going to get a gritty, kind of raspy sound that maybe we're not intending to get. It's one thing if you're trying to do that on purpose for a stylistic reason, but it's another thing if you have an injury and you're unable to do that. So this exercise is for people recovering from vocal injuries. As you guys know from my other videos, I'm not a doctor, and my advice cannot be substituted for that of a doctor, even though I'm a very well-educated vocal instructor. If you want to know more about my background in education, watch my Fry Scream Part 2 video. I talk about it in there. So let's move on to this vocal compression. This will eliminate breathiness, generate power, and help you get a lot more control in your voice. So the first thing you want to do is get in the right position to get enough air. So I want you guys to watch my Breathing for Screamers video. That really helps singers and screamers learn a lot about how the function of the breath works and everything like that. This exercise would be good if you're not familiar with belting, or if you have a hard time with the neutral larynx concept. This will basically generate healthy singing in the neutral larynx position for, we're going to focus on rock belting style today because that's my most popular stuff and the biggest thing that most people want to learn. You want to use this to eliminate breathiness and generate power. You don't want a breathy voice because that means the chords aren't coming together all the way and something isn't happening correctly. You want to practice without being breathy for a long time first. And then later, you can use breathiness as a stylistic choice, but you don't want to have it. Your voice shouldn't naturally just be breathy. If it is, you need to do this exercise to where your air can start compressing the chords together properly so we're not losing air escaping. So first thing we're going to do is take our shoulders, let's put them up to our ears, push them back and then down. And this raises up the sternum. It gets it up off the lungs, and we're going to be able to fill the lungs fully here. What we don't want to do is this kind of stuff. That's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that our air is releasing gradually, and we want to sit tall like this. Now, eventually, once you build the coordination, you don't have to stay like this, but for practice, for learning, you need to start like this. Okay, let's go to the exercise here. So you're in this nice position. We're going to, let's start with, I'm going to demonstrate up in a tenor alto range, and then we'll go through and I'll do the whole thing from bass, the lowest male voice type, all the way up through soprano. So this is for belting. So this is for rock singing. So do not expect to belt more than your first 2 octaves with this. After you get to the end of your first 2 octaves, you'll have to flip probably into a mixed voice or a more vertical classical tone placement. Again, watch my tone placement videos to understand more about what exactly I mean by that. So this is what we're going to do for now. We're going to imagine that our sound is a laser cannon and that it's going forward. I'm imagining that it's a line from the back of my mouth coming out through here, the philtrum right here, going forward. Or you can imagine a piece of dental floss, but all your notes in this exercise for rock singing, pop singing, blues, R&B, anything non-classical, you want to imagine your sound going forward. So all your notes are going forward. We're thinking about power. This is hey, that kind of singing, okay? So we want to make sure that we're not singing lightly like like mixed voice or classical. I have other exercises and other videos on those. We're trying this with rock singing first. So I'm going to do this up here. If you're an alto, a mezzo, or a tenor, you can probably try it with me. But again, I'm going to go through all the voice types for everybody because I want everyone to participate. So I'm going to sing, I'm going to start with the letter N. We're going to imagine that we're humming, but we're humming on an N. And this is going to help us keep our larynx in a neutral position and get the air connected to it and get our voice power back, eliminate breathiness, etc., etc. So we're going to do it in 3-note pattern here. The 1, 3, and 5 of a major chord, and we're just going to sing and as I'm singing that N, I'm imagining my laser going forward. Now, if you're not used to having this much power in your voice or eliminating some of your breathiness, when you first go to try this, you're going to feel intense vibrating all across your sinuses here. That's good. That's the physics of sound, and that should be happening when you have good vocal compression. When you open to sing, it will be less, but it will still be there. So we're going to sing N first. Let's try it. And then your brain will remember this muscle memory for just a minute, and we're going to sing knee. We'll open up and sing that same pattern on a knee. Knee. Now your voice may wobble and crackle as you're trying this because the first time you start to sing with a relaxed larynx and good breath connection, the resonance is going to shake off all the phlegm and everything from your throat. If you're not warmed up, it's definitely going to happen. So you want to warm up and try this a few times as you're warming up. And you want to, when you imagine your sound going forward, your larynx is going to be more relaxed. When the breath connection kicks in and things start relaxing, sometimes it is wobbly at first because the brain is not used to letting go of the throat and letting it relax. So you need to practice this and work with it a few times. And you would basically apply this, say you were working on a song and you felt like you just could not get the power and the energy behind it or get rid of the breathiness or whatever. You want to take that song and do the melody on an N, then do it on a knee, then add the lyrics. And this will help get you back to where you need to be. So if I was doing, I have a student working on Buried Alive by Avenged Sevenfold right now. So if I was singing that song, the verses are, take the time just to listen when the voices screaming are much too loud. So you don't want that to be breathy at all. If it's take the time, don't do that because breathiness will actually strain your voice if it's not intentional. So take a deep breath in with your shoulders back, lifting the sternum. Do it on an N first. It's very important too when you're doing the N that you're not allowing any air to escape through your nose. If air is escaping through your nose while you're humming or singing, you're not putting the full air into your voice. So you need to limit that. There should be no air coming out of your nose during this exercise. So I've done my N now. Now I'm going to do it on a knee. We're gradually keeping that muscle memory in place as we open up to singing. We're trying to carry the power into the song. So I'm going to go knee. You could do this with any song or any part of a song that's plaguing you. And so then I feel pretty good there. So I'm going to take a deep breath again. I'm going to imagine my sound going forward, and I'm going to try to replicate the feelings that were there when I was singing the N and the knee as I add the words. Take the time just to listen, and the voice is screaming, I'm much too loud. You know what I mean? And then you get a very powerful sound. So let's do it on an exercise, but just know that you can use this. You can use this for high notes when you're belting. I'm going to start with basses. So everybody join in when we get to your comfortable range. Don't try to stick in too high. If you're an alto, I'm going to try to give you guides of when you should be stopping and whatnot. You can't change your voice type. You can only change your technique, which means that will allow you to access the most notes within your range, but it's not going to turn you into a soprano. If you're an alto, take it from me, I'm an alto. But these techniques make it possible for me to do a lot with my voice. So let me start low for basses and baritones. You can start here. You're going to imagine your sound going forward, and you're going to sing N. So even though you're imagining your laser cannon going forward, you'll feel vibrations in your chest and in your face as the notes change. And that's just physics of sound. Low sounds you feel vibrating in the chest. High sounds you should feel in your face. So you'll feel this very much in your chest. Now you try it. Deep breath, N. Good. Now sing knee. Knee. Now let's keep going up. N. Knee. Knee. Keep going. N. I'm not going to do it with you. Breathe. And knee. And N. Now knee, breathing. Now tenors, if you are feeling like you can join us, some contralto females might be able to come in here. N, knee. Good. Now N, and knee. Now N, and knee, knee. Now altos, you should definitely be in here. Now basses, this might be getting a little high for you, but try to stick with us. I think you can do it. Put some volume and energy into it. Altos, you should be in here. Tenors, you should be in. Mezzos, maybe you can join us now, but if you're not comfortable, just wait a couple minutes. Now sing knee. Good, keep going. Now we're gonna go. Now same notes on knee. N, and knee. N, Basses and baritones, if you're still with us, good for you. These should be higher, louder notes for you. Altos, mezzo-sopranos, and tenors should all be in here right now. Sopranos, you're coming up, trust me. N, ni, breathe, N, ni, N, ni, ni. Now basses, you guys are probably done by now. Basses and baritones, that's okay. Contraltos, you should still be with us. Mezzos, tenors, and now sopranos, you should be joining us as well. So start with N, ni. Your sound should be going forward. It should be like speaking, not pretty, like ni. Tenors, countertenors, altos, mezzos, sopranos, you should all be in with us. And ni, N, and ni. I'm going to change it a little bit. We'll do an N here. And now contraltos, if you're having difficulty, this is getting towards the end of your belt range. So tenors and contraltos, if you feel like you need to start dropping out, go ahead. If you feel like you can make it a few more notes, give it a shot. But don't do anything that hurts or anything like that. Stop if you feel pain or strain. Be breathing. Sopranos, mezzos, high tenors. Here we go. And ni. And give me, now let's go back. Now we're going to start with ni and sing nay. Instead of N and ni, we're going to sing ni and then nay. Ready? Ni and nay. Ni and nay. And the sound is going forward. If you're still with us, you should definitely be belting still. This is not for light singing or opera singing or mixed voice. So this is really only going to be my mezzos, sopranos, and extremely high countertenors here. Altos, you should be done. Basses, you should have been done a long time ago. Here we go. Ni. I'm an alto, so I can barely do it, but I just kind of wanted to show you how powerful it should be. Ni, breathing, and nay. And only mezzos and sopranos. Ready? Ni and nay. Ni, sopranos, and nay. And keep going, sopranos only. Ni. And breathing, nay. Sopranos only. Ni. Nay. So if you're belting up there to an F, you're definitely a soprano or an extremely high countertenor. If you felt like you needed to flip or switch, then you're probably a lower voice type, and that's okay. So that's been our exercise today on how to generate some vocal compression, how to apply it to a song, and I hope that it helps you guys sing more freely, relaxed, and clearly, and get your power back in your voice. If you need lessons, I give Skype lessons to students all over the world, and I can coordinate with anyone across the international date line. So just let me know where you are, and I can give you times. Email me at voicehacks@gmail.com. Bye, guys.